Hello everybody, the Law Gnome is here.
I got a really good feeling about this.
Today we're going to be reviewing a movie that is so wrapped up in controversy it's not even funny. And quite frankly, this is a movie that never in my wildest dreams would I have thought would have been wrapped up in so much controversy. And that, of course, is the newest installment in the Star Wars story saga, and that, of course, was Solo, directed by Ron Howard and starring Alden Ehrenreich, Woody Harrelson, Emilia Clarke, Donald Glover, and Paul Bettany. So this movie basically explains itself. It's the story of Solo's origins, the story of a character that is so beloved in all of Star Wars thanks to the fantastic acting of Harrison Ford. He is a rebel without a cause, a guy that is just full of himself and just wants to make the big money, and in the end ends up being the hero. So some of us, maybe not all of us, because apparently this is a Star Wars movie that many are saying one that never should have been made, because no one was frankly interested in hearing about Solo's origin stories. Well, hold on right there, that's not true, because I, for one, was very interested in Solo's origins, especially because there were certain things in Star Wars lore that I personally wanted to see. That included seeing Han meeting Chewie, Han meeting Lando, Han getting the Millennium Falcon, Han doing the Kessel Run, and probably one of the more unexpected things that I was really excited about seeing was Corellia, where Solo grew up. This was a planet that I have known about ever since I was a kid, and much like seeing Coruscant for the first time, this was a story that I really wanted to see take place and see all of these different worlds. So in the end, while there is so much negativity surrounding this movie, I will say I actually had a good time with this movie. This movie is not perfect. It's not even one of the best Star Wars films out there, but I will say it is definitely better than The Last Jedi. I just let myself relax, turned off my brain for a couple of hours, and watched a fun space adventure. The acting is not terrible. I would definitely say that some of the highlights in this film are Woody Harrelson and Paul Bettany. I absolutely loved Chewie in this film. I mean, I was not anticipating Chewie to really give me anything less. I also thought that even though he didn't have a big role in the film, Donald Glover is just a fantastic actor, and when I saw him portray Lando Calrissian, I swear to God, I thought it was a young Billy D. Williams. I think that Billy D. Williams would even be so proud of Donald Glover, especially being this iconic character. I wasn't too keen on Alden Ehrenreich as a whole. I actually did enjoy his performance. I think he did his very best to try and get the true Han Solo mannerisms out there onto the screen. And while he is no Harrison Ford, I feel that there were moments where he got it right, but then there were some moments where he totally missed the mark. And there were even some points in time where I thought that he was really cringeworthy because he was overacting to a certain degree. Also, Tandy Newton from Westworld has a small role to play in this film, and she also, for her on-screen presence, I don't know, it's like not necessarily something that wowed me, but also not necessarily something that disappointed me. But considering the fact that she was in the main credits and getting next to not much of screen time was a little bit of a disappointing thing for me. I thought that the production value was very good. I thought that the directing was very good. I mean, knowing that Ron Howard was going to be the director of this film after losing director after writer after director, what have you, I had a little bit of a positive feeling towards it because Ron Howard has made some very good movies in the past couple of years. Most recently, one of my all-time favorites is Rush, starring Chris Hemsworth and Daniel Bruhl, and I'll put a review to that movie at the end of this video. But I had a feeling that when we had a prestigious director like himself being the person to take on a Star Wars movie, I felt that there was something that could be done to save this movie from practically tanking, because there was so much skepticism. There were so many people that were saying that if we didn't see a teaser trailer for this movie by the Super Bowl, we were probably never going to see this movie. And quite frankly, in the end, I still did enjoy myself. There were a couple of additional things that I really didn't appreciate, and more so, it's what happens outside the film and written in the tabloids or the big magazines, what have you. And that was the fact that Lucasfilm was virtue signaling to push the sexual orientation of Lando Calrissian. Quite frankly, I don't care what the hell his sexual orientation is, but I don't appreciate it when people jump on soapboxes and say, come see this movie because we have these kinds of characters. That's not the reason why people go to see films, okay? People go to see films to have a good time, to lose themselves in an epic adventure or a fantasy or a drama, or just seeing a piece of history on screen. That is why we go to the movies. We don't care about how many different skin colors, we don't care about how many sexual orientations. We just want to see a fun film. And also, that leads to one of the characters that I sort of had high hopes for, because it looked good on the trailer, and that was the character of L337, also known as Lando's co-pilot. I didn't find her necessary. I found her annoying, if anything, and I really didn't appreciate the role that they gave her, because I feel that they could have given her a better role, especially when you take a look at the chemistry between Han and Chewie in the film. That is something that people wanted to see, and that was also something that I feel the film got right. Another thing that for me personally didn't necessarily ruin the film, but for me I felt that the film was a little bit rushed. There were a couple of things that I knew about Han Solo's lore that were definitely things that I was curious to see if they were going to put in the film, like the fact that he actually was an Imperial officer at one point in time. But the fact that in this movie, his meeting with Chewbacca, his meeting with Lando, his acquiring of the Millennium Falcon and running the Kessel Run, the fact that it all happens in a span of a couple of weeks, based on what the feel I got was from seeing this movie, I kind of felt that that didn't seem that believable. It didn't take away from the movie because, yes, as a Han Solo fan, those were things that Han Solo fans wanted to see, and I got to see them, and I thought that they were very well done and fun to watch. But just seeing how a lot of this took place in such a short amount of time was something that just didn't seem believable and just felt a little rushed. But I will still say that this was a much better experience than I thought it was going to be, even though I will say that this is not one of the best films in the Star Wars film library at this point in time. I definitely think, once again, that it is better than The Last Jedi. I don't think it's as good as Rogue One, though. But I will still say that there is plenty of rewatchability here, and believe it or not, this is a movie that I do want to own in my DVD collection, because it was just a fun space adventure with fun characters to watch, and a couple of true nostalgic nods to the Star Wars fans done well, especially those who are fans of Han Solo. So I am going to give Solo: A Star Wars Story 2.5 stars out of 4. I was thinking at one point in time about giving it 3, but thinking about a lot of the things that I sort of was not too thrilled about at the end of the day, and I let my thoughts about this movie stew for about 24 hours, I feel that this was the appropriate mark to give it. But I will still want to see your comments in the box below, because I would love to have a discussion with you guys about Solo: A Star Wars Story. So thank you so much for watching as always, and I will see you in the next one.
My God, there must be mini-me, you complete me.
Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.